Dr. Preet, I want to ask you one more question, and we should have allocated a lot more time for this call, but because it's extremely interesting. Given the global competition and how important the price competition is, how can you achieve a balance between having a decent income for the livelihoods of those producers, the craftsmen, and being competitive at the price level, because you are putting India on the international map? So how can you create the balance between the two?
So as much as this is a bigger problem, I think for mass-produced products, this is more of concern. As far as I have seen, for handcrafted products, the price point is not one of the determining factors for the purchase. I would rather see people, as Jaya mentioned, if a product has a story, I don't see Europe having a problem. If I see a product where I can prove provenance, I don't see US having a problem. If I see a product that has actually good craftsmanship, I don't see the Middle East having a problem paying for it. So pricing actually is not one of the problems that at least we have faced till now.
But pricing is when you actually sell. But until
Yes,
you sell, you need to survive. So we're talking here
yes.
about a regular income that needs to exist, okay? Because, and that's usually the problem. So what do you do about that?
So when you get export markets opened up, I think except for the first 3 to 6 months where there is some uncertainty and people are still trying you out, I think after that, this problem is taken care of like anything. As of right now, I have more demand for genuine handcrafted products than I have adequate supply thereof. So I would again tell you that, pricing is not one of the constraints. In fact, there is an interesting story that, so we have this conglomerate called Aditya Birla Group, and they have these stores called Jaipur. And they said, when you sell somebody something for $20 and it bleeds, like, the color spills over, it bleeds, they come back to you saying, oh, what stupid product have you given me? And they said, when you sell the same product for $2,000 and it bleeds, people take it close to their heart and say, oh, wow, this is handcrafted. So pricing is actually a reverse problem for me than what you had mentioned, Dr. Latif.
Jozee, do you see it the same way? No, but that's a mean thing to say. I mean, it bleeds, all right? This is not a defect. It's just handicraft,
yeah,
okay?
yeah. This is what we're facing. It's a very important because the reputation of the handmade or handicraft products was not really good because of this exact point, the bleeding. Because whenever you buy something that is completely made by the artisans, where they are, with St. Catherine or El Arish or Siwa or any other place, and even sometimes we face this problem. That's why we made sure afterwards that anything that we're going to produce with the artisans, we have to provide them with the raw materials, whether it's the yarn, the fabric, or anything else, to make sure that this is not the thing that we used to hear about this thing. We wanted to remove this idea of handicraft or handmade item. It has to be like this. No, it does not have to be like this. It has to be perfect or perfect as a handmade item that you can wear and you can have for many years, not something that is something wrong with it, or it is not really good.
What Dr. Preet is saying is different. He's saying that the bleeding you would get away with the bleeding because it's handicraft.
No. I cannot let that happen, because I'm here. I'm trying to address all the people, those who are aware of the handicraft and the handmade element and everything, and those who are not. Both of them want something that will be good and high quality, and then have for a long time. not for a couple of days or something that I cannot wear for 2 or a month or 2 days or anything like that. We wanted something that is really valuable and that is high quality and that competes with any other product in the market, whether it's an international or a local brand. That's what we wanted to address and wanted to make sure that all the customers, whether from Egypt or outside, that they have this handmade product. Okay,
Thank you.
it's
Thank you.
something that is, yes.
Thank you, Josee. Thank you so much. I want everyone from the panelists, I'm changing the program a little bit. I hope I'm forgiven. In exactly 1 minute for each of you to tell us how do you think Egypt and India should collaborate in promoting and creating more sustainability for crafts industries. And I will start with Dr. Akila. The thoughts, the instantaneous ones that come from the discussion and from outside.
We really can use the India's input in the multitude of inputs they have to their crafts, their wood, their threads, their materials. It is so rich, and this we suffer. We do suffer in Egypt from the lack of inputs that stimulate even the designers to be able to produce nicely. So India is really a huge resource in this aspect. In addition to their know-how in certain skills that are deteriorating in Egypt. So also
thank you. Thank you very much. Clear. Mrs. Jaya, the quick thought.
Well, we already, I think, shared the document with the panel earlier. Perhaps you will get it in the mail, which shows how we collaborated with Egypt in 2014. We had 10 artisans from Egypt working with 10 of their Indian counterparts. And we shared skill, we shared designs, we created new designs from shared skills. And we taught somebody a technique of weaving, which that young man said he would go back and teach to 45 other villages. They were also able to see, they were also able to see what the Delhi Haat was because we have it there. I've done this for 14 years with many different countries. And I think we should have many such skill exchanges in different types of crafts. Like you have Teli, we have Mukesh. It's that silver embroidery.
Can you imagine mixing the two expertise, the two heritages in the design? It's amazing.
We did that with all sorts of things. That document which I have shared, you could look at it later. It'd probably be more relevant now that we've had the discussion.
Okay,
so that's,
thank you.
We actually did it. But I'd just like to say one quick thing. Much larger than everything we've been discussing is that we should unite on the concept of non-standardization. We cannot do huge numbers if you're in craft. We have to say that each piece will be different, not just the color bleed, but each pattern may be different. Each hand is working. So one is non-standardization and the other is how these livelihoods help in preventing the degeneration of the planet. Because they're all with natural material. These, I believe, are very important frameworks we should work with together.
Mr. Bassel, Rahmy.
I believe let's not reinvent the wheel. We need to know, and I have a very quick question here for our Indians colleagues. If you do have a specialized marketing agency to support the handicrafts or not, I believe yes. If this is the case, we need to understand the scope of work, what they're doing exactly. So if Dr. Preet tell us about that, I will take this opportunity and start to understand better how you guys are doing that, and we can again replicate this area in Egypt and start to do that? Because again, packaging and marketing is extremely important for these people. So if Dr. Preet can tell me if this exists already or not, and how can you support us on that?
Dr. Preet.
Sure.
Your turn.
Dr. Latif, maybe you could share maybe my contact with Mr. Rahmy, and we could
Definitely.
connect offline as well. But just quick thoughts on what we could do together. I think just the fact where we expose the Indian artisans to their European counterparts, similar to what Jaya said, I think that opens your mind to possibilities. That opens your mind to understanding that preserving the art is not the same as preserving the design. And I think that in itself is going to solve a lot of my problems, because it gives you pride when you know that there are other such people who are doing this in their countries and they also take pride in that. So I think that solves a lot of my problems.
Really? Jaya, okay, come here, come here. Mrs. Jaya, I have Dr. Heba Handusa here who wants to say hi. So, Jaya, where are you? Say something.
You're on mute, Jaya.
Jaya, unmute.
My gosh, we are so
I have the
lovely.
lovely lady here.
Yes,
Yeah,
she's
it's
my very,
Heba.
very, very best friend. Yes, hello. I'm
I've
so
been
happy
here
to
the
see
whole hour, but I was sitting quietly.
you. You should have talked about our experience together.
We should have more. We should have more webinars. This one is too short. This one is far too short.
Big hug.
Thank
Anyway,
you.
lovely,
Thank you, Dr.
lovely
Heba.
surprise. Lovely
Thank you.
surprise seeing you.
Thank you, Dr. Heba. Dr. Preet, please continue. Sorry, we are taking an extra few minutes. I hope you guys don't mind. It's very, very interesting. Dr. Preet, please continue.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm done. Just the fact where you expose both of them, I think you open that door of pride. You show them that preserving the art is not the same as having the same old designs. And just the fact
Absolutely.
that there are other people doing this. That's it.
Yes, yes. And I will definitely exchange your contacts with Mr. Bassel, because I think your experience is extremely useful for Egypt.
Thank you, Dr.
Dr. Hesham.
Yes, from my side, 3 points. Sharing the skills between artisans, also collaboration between Egyptian and Indian artisans. I'm sure this will come up with great new designs and new ideas with all the different crafts available in both countries. And the third point is that I always wonder why we are always focusing on the European and the American market, while the Indian market is very big and the Egyptian market is very big. So why don't we try to have Indian products to be sold in Egypt and Egyptian products to be sold in India? And I will also remind Mrs. Jai with the collaboration at 2014 when the Egyptian artisans went to India with the help of Dr. Handusa, and at that time I remember that most of the Egyptian artisans sold all the products that they had with them in the first few days, and then they had to stay the rest of the period without any products, because everything was sold. And this is related to that both the Indians and the Egyptians they love the crafts, and this is in our blood in both countries. So I'm sure if we collaborate on all these points, it will have a huge impact on both artisans in both countries.
I think that's a great suggestion. Trade fairs and sending people from each side to the other. I think it will do wonders. Jozee, you are the youngest in the group, and you are a craftsperson yourself. What do you think?
I think it's like what Hesham said and everyone else. Yani, I believe that exchanging the skills and teaching or learning from the skills that is in India. We already have some of these craftsmanship, but they are very developed in a lot of areas. And they would definitely add a lot to our craftsmanship, and the other side also, we have our crafts that we can share, and this would bring us to a whole new area for both of us, يعني, putting our designs and skills with the Indian, come up with something that is totally different from what we do and what India does.
Something amazing, something Indo-Egyptian.
Exactly. That's what we do as in Egyptians. We do a totally different thing from whatever that comes to us. So that's what I believe, that would come up with something that's extremely different than what is on the table anywhere, for us and for them as well. And definitely the fair trade, يعني. The fair trade is it's really good idea, because I believe that as long as in Egypt and India we value the handicrafts, and this is what people love. Yani, I recall that we have Indians coming to our Indian people, or Indian people customers coming to our shop, and they are amazed with the products, and we believe, oh my God, you have amazing products, and you also love our products because we are different. We have different things, and this is what we share.
Super, Jozee. Thank you so much. I think given that we have an hour and just a few minutes, we achieved a lot. I apologize for not answering questions because of time consideration. But we are going to collaborate at the institutional level. I'm sending the context of Dr. Preet to Mr. Bassel, Rahmy. The ideas on the table are huge. Repeating what has been done in 2014 again, and having people go from each side to the other, get them exposed, sharing designs, having trade fairs. And I love Jaya's concept of having a marketplace for the products, linking it with others so that it becomes attractive for all, creating a permanent platform for impermanent people. I think the ideas are great, and linking the geography to the product. This is the copyright that we need, so the Chinese cannot copy what you guys are doing and what we are doing if we link it to a story. So I thank you all, and I thank Gateway House for collaborating with us on this, and on behalf of myself, and on behalf of Manjeet, who had to leave because I believe where she is, it's very late right now. I thank you all, and I look forward to more collaboration. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Great panelists, and I thank the audience for their patience. Thank you.
Thank you for such a lovely moderation and sharing.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.